All right. All right, thanks for being here again this week. So, getting started, we're going to review everything that we've been doing. Okay, so everybody's on track. Mindfulness. If somebody asked you what is mindfulness, how would you describe it? Go ahead.
Kind of like an emotional railroad track.
Yeah, okay. And what does that railroad track do?
Or like if you keep on like pushing your way, like you'll go the longer way. But if you just like go through, then you'll go like the shortest way.
Yeah, so when you're when you get an unpleasant emotion that gets stuck, sometimes using mindfulness helps lay that track, that foundation that helps you give that unpleasant thought the attention it deserves so it goes right through. So it's focusing on emotions, your external environment, with kindness, non-judgment, and with curiosity. Keeping an open mind, right? And how would you describe an anchor in the context of mindfulness? Go ahead.
Stay there.
Yeah, it allows you to become more grounded. Can you somebody elaborate a little bit more on that? Go ahead.
It's kind of like our body's like a boat, and then we use it to like, instead of just slowly floating away, we use it to like stay there.
Right. And what are the three things you can use as an anchor?
Your breath, something to hear, your body, your breath, and the sound.
Yep, very good. Okay. And if we have time today, we're going to talk about the nervous system, homeostasis, what that's all about, and multitasking. We'll definitely get into the multitasking. So right now I'd like to everybody give their attention to Izzy. She's going to lead us in our opening mindfulness practice. Okay? So
sit in a mindful posture, upright, not tight. Place your hands on your lap, toward chest.
okay,
Use an anchor of your choice.
okay,
Breath, body, or sound.
okay. Let's pause there for a second. Let's make sure everybody's in their mindfulness posture. Okay, right. Upright but not uptight.
You can have your eyes open or closed. When I ring the bell, raise your hands when you don't hear the sound anymore.
Yep. All right. So let's check in a little bit after that. You guys have your journals. You're welcome to write in your journals now, or you can do it afterwards. But did anybody notice, did you feel any different before that compared to after? Yeah? What'd you notice?
It's not a notice, but I do have a question though.
Okay.
When you do it, are you supposed to cover the hole that's on the bottom of it?
No, you can leave that open. Yeah, it's all right.
Okay.
So, but how did you feel during that practice?
The same.
It felt,
It's really hard for me to change moods.
okay,
Like if I get mad, I can't calm down for like 2 or 3 hours.
okay, all right.
Unless I go into a calm and just keep chucking the ball at the wall.
That's a good observation. So you're aware of that.
In fact, I have mine right here.
Okay. What about you, Izzy?
Less anxious.
Yeah? Did you feel more calm after the practice?
Yeah.
Okay. What about you?
It helps a little bit.
Yeah? And in what way?
Well, my family on my dad's side has anger problems,
Okay.
and me and one of my brothers has that. So it kind of helps, or I'm not screaming, but also be angry.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Izzy, for doing that. That's great. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you. So, what I'd like to do now is something called reflection, relevance, and review. So, remember last week, and when we talked about being mindful and how sometimes we get caught up in things that we're not really mindful about. So, like reading a book, reading the same paragraph, you find yourself reading it over and over and over again, and you're not comprehending it. Did you ever experience that? or a teacher calls on you in class and you have no idea what the question was or what she had been talking about for the last 10 minutes. Or you find yourself maybe in the shower and you can't remember if you washed your hair or not.
So you washed it all like 7 times.
Yeah.
That's a lot of shampoo.
Dude,
Yeah.
Huh?
it's kind of ridiculous. 7 times.
Or have you ever found yourself getting in an argument with somebody and it's all in your head and that person's not even present? It's just all,
Yes.
That
Yeah.
happens in dreams a lot.
Yeah.
Whatever you do in a dream, do not look in the mirror.
or
No,
have you ever
actually,
been,
in your dreams is just remember.
I know some of you guys have social media apps on your phones. Do you ever find yourself refreshing the screen over and over and over again, thinking you may have missed something? Or thinking something new is going to pop up? Yeah. But on the other hand, have you ever noticed when you're focused on something, when you're not distracted and you're doing something you're really good at? It could be a sport, could be playing a video game, could be just about anything that you're really interested in. Listening to music, playing music, writing poetry. There could be something that you're just in the zone on. Go ahead, Donovan.
5 minutes after like I'm doing something that I really enjoy, I get extremely hungry, and then I go into the fridge. I eat almost everything we have.
That's great. So what that tells us is that you have the ability to be focused and have attention, right? And that attention is a skill that can be learned and practiced. So let's move on here a little bit. So we talked about unpleasant emotions last time, right? And that how if we have unpleasant emotions, that they're trying to tell us something. And I like to say unpleasant rather than negative emotions, because I don't believe there's really anything that's negative about our emotions. We all have the same emotions inside, right? So we learned that accepting emotions helps us prevent spiraling paths from forming and can help you avoid emotions getting stuck. Well, what if you've already created some of these paths, right? So if you already have a path that's stuck, like you have an unpleasant, like maybe you're feeling sad, and then that feeling gets stuck somewhere in here. You know, and we can use mindfulness to help break that path, right? Mindfulness can serve as a railroad. It can come in, and then mindfulness kind of serves as a path and takes that right out. So we don't get stuck. We give that unpleasant emotion the attention it deserves. And listen to what it's saying. Go ahead, Don.
Can you go back to the last slide?
Sure.
If you have a path like this, of course it's gonna get stuck.
Yeah, that's pretty twisted up in there.
Because it goes up, down, up, down,
Yeah.
up.
Not really.
Okay.
So it's just like
It's just gonna get stuck on the first down.
All right, so moving along. To help heal the paths you've already created, we'll learn about the second part of mindfulness, which involves the present. Remember how we talked about the past, present, and the future? If you're in the past, sometimes that can create sadness, depression. If you're stuck in the future, that can create a lot of worry and anxiety.
How are you gonna be stuck in the future?
It's
Thinking about
it's
looking at
thinking
it.
about what's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
if you're worried about things that are going to happen, that can create worry and anxiety.
Like if I throw a brick out a window, what's gonna happen?
So if we often get stuck and get our heads thinking about the past or worrying about the future, mindfulness can help stop these thoughts in their tracks and focus on the present. Now, what if you have a pleasant thought, like something that was really nice that happened in the past?
Just takes it out.
And that it's a good feeling to reflect on those good thoughts, right? It can give you optimism. What's optimism?
Happiness.
Yeah, it's being hopeful, right? Thinking that the more positive outlook on things in life. But if we ruminate on those thoughts and we keep going back to it, you think it's possible that can make us feel sad? Yeah, if it kind of takes us away from what we're feeling in the present. If we're not feeling happy now and we keep thinking about how something was better in the past, that unpleasant feeling can be a distraction on what we're feeling now, right? That happiness in the past can distract us from what we're feeling now. So we need to focus on what we're feeling now and be mindful of what we're experiencing now and listen to what that's saying. So the truth is that most pleasant and unpleasant feelings are transient and fleeting. They're always moving. They only last for a short while. But sometimes they do get stuck and stay longer than we'd like. And as mentioned, they can lead to negative self-talk. Remember we talked about negative self-talk a few weeks back? Depression, anxiety, frustration, and anger. So what is multitasking? Go ahead.
Doing multiple things at once.
Yeah? Okay. What are some examples of multitasking?
Geez, she has like 8 arms.
Yeah? Go ahead, Donovan.
Playing on her iPad and listening.
Yeah? Yeah? What about you, Izzy?
Like I do is I watch TV and fold socks, or when I'm drawing, I listen to music and draw.
Okay.
I just listen.
But that does that help you stay focused? Okay. Go ahead.
Maybe when you're doing the dishes and you have to be on the phone with someone important.
Yeah. Yeah, if you look at this picture, you see your parents and teachers doing a lot of multitasking, right? Like here she's cooking dinner, taking care of the kid. You're sending out some emails.
Calling somebody,
Yeah.
weightlifting.
There's a lot of things going on there.
How can you go
No.
shopping if you're at home cooking?
Yeah, maybe you're
What if
thinking
she's
about
putting her groceries away.
yeah, maybe you're putting together a grocery list.
Has she been 10?
Yes, she's been trying to.
No, she's been 8.
Right. So many people think that they can multitask and focus on more than one thing at the same time. Think that's possible?
Yes.
To an extent. But the truth is your brain can only focus on one thing at a time. Okay? One thing. But of course it's possible to do 2 things at the same time. For instance, right now you're breathing and listening. But your brain is only actually able to focus on one thing.
Yeah, but right now I'm doing 3 things.
You can do a lot.
But if you had to focus on your breath, you really wouldn't be able to do much else. Remember we talked about automaticity?
No.
I don't think you were here that
2 weeks ago?
yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, you were here? Okay, yeah, we talked about automaticity and how you have certain body functions that just do natural, like your heart beating and breathing.
That's not.
If you had to think about breathing, if you had to constantly remind yourself to breathe, you think you'd forget sometimes? Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, you sleep and you breathe, right? You're breathing in your sleep.
Oh, I just
So-
realized that too.
Yeah.
How do I
So if you had to
get
constantly think about breathing, how do you think you'd be able to focus on everything else that's going on? On schoolwork?
That's how you zone out.
Yeah? Driving, riding your bicycle, if you had to constantly remind yourself to breathe, it'd be kind of difficult. When it appears that someone is multitasking, what they're really doing is switching their focus between 2 tasks. So you can see in the example here that she's doing some math homework and she's texting
Oh my
or looking at her phone, whatever it is.
She could be looking
But
at
she's
me.
going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So if she's on her phone texting or looking at some social media and the teacher's going through a math problem, going through it step by step, I think it's pretty likely that she'll miss a step. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, you can't really have your phone in school until you're in high school.
Yeah, that's all for good
That's
reason.
pretty dumb though. I think.
And you
So-
still can't even go on it during
So if you're-
in high school.
If you miss those steps on how to do a math problem because you're on your social media and the teacher calls on you and you don't know the
That's
answer.
happened to me before, but I didn't know the answer.
Yeah, okay.
I'll just look it up.
But what happens if you miss those steps and you don't, and then class is over and now you have to do that math homework?
What if she was downloading
And you get-
a photo map?
Is it likely that you get frustrated with it, angry with it, and you probably just don't want to do it?
That's what I just said. It's
Yeah.
just photo map.
So that's why it's really important to be mindful and pay attention and realize that it's multitasking isn't always the greatest thing. Sometimes people do it, or you see your parents and teachers do it, but when you're in class, multitasking
You
is
could be trying to draw something and doing.
yeah, and sometimes you have fidgets, right? You have fidgets in class. Sometimes, drawing on a table, on these tables, can be helpful. If you have a fidget, that can help you avoid the distractions of other things in the classroom and focus on what the teacher's saying. All right, so we're gonna play a game. We got a quick game here.
Can I play team 1?
You want to be
I want to be team 1 captain.
okay? All right.
Can I be
What do you
team
guys?
2
Teams.
captain?
Team 2 captain.
Yeah, I'm
All
team
right.
1
So
captain.
you two guys will be.
No.
I want to be captain.
Okay.
There's 4 people. There's
Donovan. Please leave that alone.
It's
Damien.
Or
Davian. I'm
Davian.
not Donovan.
Sorry.
If there's 4 people to choose from, we each get 2 people to
Hey, Davian.
choice.
Okay. So.
You.
All
Well,
right.
if I'm Donovan, he's Davian then.
All right. Donovan and Izzy, you guys will be keeping the score. Okay. So each grab a marker. Okay. Branson, why don't you come on over because you're going to be a part of team 2. So you're going to have a.
I get Damien.
No,
Okay.
I get Damien.
All right.
I'll do it by myself.
So here's the challenge. Team 1, you're going to count how many blue triangles pass through the screen. Okay?
The whole screen or just the box?
No, just you guys over here. Okay?
Okay.
Yep, it's going to go across the whole screen. You guys just focus on the blue triangles.
1, 3.
You guys are going to focus on how many squares pass through the screen, how many different colors you see pass through the screen, and how many different shapes you see pass through the screen. Okay?
I chose these.
So I keep
All right.
track of.
You guys ready?
Then we have to keep track of triangles.
Ready? Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Five.
5, 16, and 4 different colors.
Okay.
It was not 16.
Okay. You guys said 5?
There
You are
was
correct.
8 in total, and then there was like
Okay.
5 different colors.
Okay, so how many squares were there?
Shapes.
There was only 1 star.
Yeah, there was only a
black
star.
Okay.
That's what they counted.
Okay. But what'd you guys come up with? How many squares? 8? 5. How many different colored squares were there?
6.
4. How many different shapes were there?
4.
2.
6.
6.
You got your numbers mixed.
I did. I literally did make it.
So can you kind of see there how multitasking is kind of difficult?
When we're going that fast, yeah.
So Team 1 was able to do much better because they were only trying to focus on one thing. Since your brain can only focus on one thing at a time, Team 2 had to keep shifting their focus between the triangles, colors, and shapes.
I feel bad for you now.
We're not going down that.
So you might wish you were able to focus on more than one thing at a time. We all wish we could. And being able to focus on one thing can actually be useful when your emotions are stuck in a downward spiral. See? There's that downward spiral, and when you have worry,
No, it's not a downward spiral.
It's a roundabout.
so you get stuck. Because you can only focus on one thing at a time, by becoming mindful of other things that are happening in the present, you can help an emotion take a normal path rather than spiral out of control. So let me read that again. By becoming mindful of other things that are happening in the present, you can help an emotion take a normal path rather than spiral out of control.
Alright, time to leave.
So what does that mean?
I thought you were doing. Oh, you said mindfulness reading.
Oh.
Wait, it was reading?
So when you're focused on the present, so when you're focused on things in the present moment and not about the past and the future, that can help you get through that unpleasant emotion. That's that mindfulness bridge, that bypass that you're creating. Becoming more mindful of other things that are happening doesn't mean that you deny or totally ignore unpleasant emotions. In fact, it's still very important to accept these emotions, But when a spiraling path has already been created, you sometimes need a little extra help beyond accepting and acknowledging that emotion. And what are some tools that you can use to help you be more present? Go ahead.
Eating.
Okay. All right. So you can shift your focus when a thought is out of control by expanding your attention to other things happening in the present while still accepting the emotion. Right? We talked about being in the present, not stuck in the past, not stuck in the future. So there's a whole lot more going on than just the thoughts in your head, right? There's other things that we can use, like use as an anchor, right?
Sure.
So you have touch. What's another sense?
Smell, taste, sound, and feel.
Yeah.
See.
So we have all of these things that we can use to help us be more present.
Ah,
All of our five
that's the last thing
senses
you guys did.
we can use to help us be more grounded. All right.
Smell air.
So we are going to.
He's outside. So,
Air's in here right now.
All
not
right.
really.
Yeah.
Oxygen, not air.
That's
All right.
air.
We're going to do an exercise here on mindful eating.
Yeah, I was right. I said you were mindful eating.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. There you go, sir.
And how much oranges did you buy?
He bought like 20 of them.
I can't
okay?
eat more orange. My nails are too short.
No. Yeah, mine.
Come on, dude. Let him eat it like that. He'll put
Thank
the
you.
red face stuff up peel.
you.
What?
Dude.
Right, you can fit
All right.
it in. Ow.
Just ignore it.
All right, so open up your journals.
You can't choke on it.
I
Oh,
can't
I
fit
don't
it.
All right, Vivian.
He just gagged on it.
I just opened my
Oh, you look at my
Dang it, I just started
Yeah, I didn't
opening
think
my
Right.
That's all right. That's all right. You're okay. So let's turn to the page in your journal where the questions are. So let's go through this together. So you're holding the orange. Okay. How does it feel? Feel in your hand. What is the texture like?
Soft.
Okay. Soft. What else?
Jinx, silver jinx, black.
Kind of
Broken.
It feels like rubber.
Rubbery. Okay.
It is.
See, I didn't get like.
What
I
should
only
be
got one
actual
question.
rubber? Just orange.
It tastes like
There's
orange.
only one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The peel, taste, and smell like
Time for us to go.
No, that's high school.
We have to stop eating.
Mm.
Get out of here.
How do you feel after
I didn't
eating
swear, you can't yell at
So-
me, I didn't swear.
So does it feel kind of like waxy,
I need a
smooth?
pencil.
it? It
Oh.
says, how do you feel after eating the M&Ms?
And right in that, yeah, I know it says M&Ms, but we're gonna substitute it with orange.
I don't know what you're pointing at.
So it's, what does it look like?
Do I open
If you look closely at it,
No, you can just.
what do you see on there?
Looks like a circle.
Yeah, little
Thanks.
circles.
Thank you.
There's little porous nodules on there, right? And how it reflects off the light. Yeah. And now let's peel it open. Okay.
It actually is good for you.
Peel it open a little bit.
Eating the peel
And smell it.
It's
Yeah, what does it smell like?
It's hard to digest.
No.
We're gonna,
Orange marmalade.
yeah.
Good vitamins, but it's hard to
Orange
digest.
marmalade?
Good.
Excellent,
Your
excellent.
stomach can't really process.
What else do you guys notice when you smell it?
Oh
I
my
smell my
god.
grandma's cooking.
Yeah? Oh, excellent. I like that. Yeah.
I smell my grandma's homemade bread.
Okay.
I don't have
I like that a lot.
unfortunately.
Okay.
She does.
I smell my dog.
And what does it feel like now? Does it feel different in your hand?
No.
Did your dog roll in your
It's squishy
oranges?
and wet.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Squishy, wet.
Why do you smell your dog?
Yeah.
I
And what does it look like now that you did the
Probably just smell your
did the appearance change after you took the peel off?
Yes.
Okay. What are some observations there?
Eating a peel.
Yeah. How does it? Is there a temperature to it?
It's like warm.
Warm?
It's like,
It's warm and wet.
That's what
Okay.
she
Kind
said.
of. It's got kind of a cool feel to it.
This is not health class.
All right. Now, if you peel this segment off, Peel one of the segments apart
Just have it.
Yum.
and place it in your mouth. Don't bite it. Just place it in your mouth.
Oh, already.
And what does it feel? What's that mouth feel?
Weird.
Yeah?
It's weird.
It
With like the low strings.
It
It's
feels
weird.
Because I ate the
Juice.
peel.
Stop it.
What is the now? Describe the flavor using 5 words. 5 descriptive words. What is some
Citrusy.
citrusy? Okay. What else you guys got?
Eating the skin with it.
Sweet. Okay.
Sour.
Sour. Little sour. Little. Okay.
Boom!
Sweet
I
and
said
sour.
5 words exact. I am not able to because I can't taste it because of the peel.
Okay.
Because you what?
I ate but the peel. I can't take.
Yeah, but you still
Okay.
eat the orange.
But now, what is the texture feel like in your mouth? Is
Can
it
you smell anything?
is it
Yeah,
juicy?
that's because the peel doesn't
Yeah.
have a taste.
yummy.
It's just water.
Because if you couldn't taste it or
Yeah,
smell anything, you
bitter.
got COVID.
Like I lost my sight, my taste and smell before.
You can, but if you eat
Alright.
too
But I got
much,
tested.
you're gonna be in the bathroom all day.
Come on. Let it
Wipe down the
go.
pickle.
All right.
That was crazy.
All right. So I'd like you guys to take the last few minutes of class to go through your journals, answer these questions that I have in your journals, and then go back and write down your experience from the opening practice if you haven't done so already. Alright.
What? Sorry, I wasn't.
You go right here.
Why did it say you're mindful
Okay.
eating with raisins?
Yeah, there's all different ways you can do
I don't
mindful.
like raisins.
You can do mindful eating with just about anything.
Wait, can we do it with ice cream?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, can you do it?
You can do mindful eating with anything.
Can you do it next week, maybe?
So we can even do it during
John,
lunch.
don't eat paper.
I don't like
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mr.
It's, remember, you're multitasking. When you're mindful of what you're doing the task at hand, you're more in the present moment. And using all your 5 senses helps you be more present.
Small.
There you go.